Where'd that hotel come from? But we built the city, as they say, you know. And they understand that. They understand that their power and their wealth comes from the earth, comes from nature, comes from the people whose sweat and blood builds those towers, and that they depend on us. So in a life or death struggle, we have the advantage because they need us. They cannot survive. The exploiter cannot survive without the people that they oppress and exploit. On the other hand, the exploited have no need for the exploiter whatsoever. In a life or death struggle, we are life. We are the future. The people who create the wealth from the soil, from the earth, from the sun, living in harmony with that, have the capacity to make a different world. And so that's the message of this conference, really, is that we need to understand the struggle we're engaged in and face that reality. Face the understanding that I, as a European descent person, have struggles inside myself I need to make. We all do, in different ways, whether it's colonialism, neo-colonialism, white supremacy, or all the other ideologies they put forward to seduce us, to engage us, to incorporate us into their system so we will not recognize the life or death nature of that contradiction. But if we do, and we stand for life, then we have the capacity to win. And so that's really what we're trying to do this weekend. We want to have workshops, we want to have discussions, we want to have know your rights and skill shares and everything else, but we want to come back here Sunday and really try to strategize deeply about how to overcome that history, how to overcome that past, how to create a different world in the future. So one last story about elephants, and then I'll wrap it up. There's a strange thing about elephants. Elephants are captured very often, and elephants are held in captivity for many, many years. And they put elephants in the circus, in the zoo. They ride on the back of elephants in Africa, and I just discovered there's a whole set of Chinese elephants, and many different empires have taken the elephants. But an odd thing happens. Every once in a while, an elephant will wake up, look around, and understand that it is a beast, it is a wild force of nature, and it will trample anything in its path and destroy the tent and everything else to get out of there, batter down the walls of the cage. And so that's something we need to understand, that that is our capacity, because we are natural people. We're not what was created by any system of empire, and people naturally are a social animal. We are naturally a communal people. We have an ability to live with the land, and we need to realize that power and that capacity to break free into wildness or anything else that we need to live in a different kind of harmony than this chaotic system that we live in now, this destructive system. So that might be an odd note in which to end this speech, so I'm going to say one more thing. The other capacity we have to have is the capacity to sustain ourselves. And we're not large numbers here. We hope to have a bigger conference tomorrow. I would ask you all to talk to your friends, to talk to your neighbors, and invite people to join us tomorrow at 255 South Hill, where the main part of the conference will be taking place. We're bringing Rob Robinson from New York, from the Take Back the Land movement, which is a movement been operating for several years on the East Coast, in Miami, Atlanta, D.C., and New York, which is repossessing homes that have been taken by the banks, foreclosed homes, unused commercial property, and housing people, housing homeless people, long-term homeless, housing people who just lost their houses. And he's going to speak about that experience. We were supposed to have Corrine Fairbanks of the American Indian Movement. Unfortunately, she will not be able to make it, but she asked Marcos Lopez of American Indian Airways and the Chumash Nation to speak in her stead. We have Bilal Ali from the LA as a Housing is a Human Right Coalition. And then some of the people you've been seeing here will be wearing other hats and speaking in a little different manner and leading workshops and discussions about using street art and how to fight foreclosures and what people are doing to take it back to the banks and so on. So please ask people to join you and come back tomorrow. Come back here on Sunday. The second thing is, you don't see, I'm not going to name the groups, but there are at least a dozen organizations in Los Angeles, maybe more, that make good money policy analyzing the question of homelessness or hunger or housing and they're not here. I hope some of them do come tomorrow, but we got no grants to put on this conference. We don't have nonprofit status. We rely on the efforts of the people that are doing the work. So I will ask if somebody has a hat, if they might circulate it. We do want to leave some money here for the Southern California Library. We did have expenses in bringing the speakers. We promised our Native American sisters and brothers that we would get them some money for gas to come down here from Santa Barbara. We had to pay airfare for Rob Robinson to bring him out here from New York, and we had to pay for the flyers. So, this is not a crowd with a lot of money. None of us are. But if you have a little, I hope that you'll share it. And thank you again for coming. And please spread the word. Thank you.